last time we were stunting on the Dyna on the channel, man? It's been too long. Oh well. What is up, guys? It is your least favorite moto vlogger, Brian636, coming to you live from the west side of Chicago. Today, we are on Killer and Jackson. We are on the 2000 FXDL Harley Davidson Dyna. I haven't done a true investigative journalism vlog in a little while, and this one really kind of hits close to home for me. A couple months ago, our new mayor announced the cancellation of those, the ShotSpotters. We've discussed these in a lot of my Hood Eats vlogs. We've discussed these in just my day-to-day vlogs. This is an essential piece of gear for Chicago police over the years, and it's one of the things that actually got Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson elected, is that he promised to cancel the ShotSpotter, as it is an ineffective tool. And I really want to discuss both sides here of why some want to get rid of it and most want to keep it. I'm going to give you some perspective, discuss a couple stories, and maybe even ask a couple of the residents here what their opinion on the ShotSpotter technology is. I know it's been a long time since I was on the Dyna, so I'm really excited to go out, ride a little bit, and bring you guys some coverage on this controversial issue. Let's talk about it. As you're going to see, we're going to see a lot of them, because now I'm going to start pointing them out. Literally almost every block in some of Chicago's more violent neighborhoods have a pod camera, a ShotSpotter, and or both. You see them in conjunction a lot. Rear tire is loud today. Woo! ShotSpotter is a technology that a third-party company called Sound Thinking runs and develops. They developed this technology in the 1990s and really perfected it in the early 2000s. After one of Chicago's most violent years on record, 2016 occurred, the city of Chicago decided to invest in the technology at the very beginning of 2017. So Chicago got the technology 2017. Now what the hell is it? How does it work? Brian, why are we paying so much for it? Because we are paying $10 million a year. Pull over here on Hamlin and Lake. It basically uses 3 to 4 of these microphone sound pickup thingies. You see it up there. And they work in conjunction with one another, and they all cover a certain area, a grid, if you will. Now, when a round or multiple rounds is picked up in that grid, all 4 of those communicate with each other, and they figure out the distance within that grid that those shots came from, and it gives a 10-digit grid, which is a pretty precise location, you know, within a couple square feet of where those shots came from instantly. So this technology got here in 2017. And what a great poll to really look at, because this does really highlight all of CPD's tools that they're using all in one. And that's not common. The first and foremost is the pod camera. That's a camera that is constantly monitored by the crisis response center downtown and or to the district. I believe right now we're in District 11, right in the middle of Garfield Park. We're not even east and west of the park. We're right in the middle of the park. So you have a camera, and then in the middle you have a LPR, also known as a license plate reader, that's constantly scanning for stolen cars, cars that were involved in violent felonies, stuff like that, and they'll tip off CPD on where they are. You have the box in the middle, like pretty much the membrane of the pod camera and the ShotSpotter, and at the very top you have the ShotSpotter itself. Oh yeah, it's about that time.
Today or what? What are you doing again?
I'm out right now. I'm riding right now.
Okay, where you going?
I don't even know. Okay. I'm just out. So yeah, that's a great poll to really highlight a lot of the crime fighting technology that CPD has. So now we know what ShotSpotter is, how long it's been around for, what the city's paying for it, and how it works roughly. And we're out. Do a wheelie for my guy here, huh? When was the last time we were stunting on the Dyna on the channel, man? It's been too long. Too long. I'm glad we ran into another rider and got to do a wheeler or two to, you know, hopefully make this vlog a little bit more lighthearted. But this is some serious stuff we're talking about here, people. Chicago Fire Department here. Saving some lives per usual. And now that I'm pointing them out, I really hope you're seeing how frequently we see the ShotSpotter on the west and south sides when we're riding around. So fast forward to last year. Brandon Johnson is elected mayor, and he is elected mayor on the promise to get rid of Chicago's ShotSpotter. His arguments include that it needs to be more than just policing to keep a community safe, which I am 100% in agreement with, and that over-policing can do more harm than good, which I'm also somewhat in agreement with. the budget, $10 million annually to Sound Thinking, a third-party company, and that a lot of Chicago neighborhoods, including the most safe ones, do not have ShotSpotter technology. Which, yeah, that's true. Some of them don't. What's going on, man? You came in misguided. Our shop for the charity, yeah. Not much. Just out vlogging about them getting rid of the ShotSpotter. That's like coming to an end in a month, right? What's your opinion on that?
Can't get one.
Yeah.
Be safe.
Oh well. You too, bro. He cannot give an opinion. See ya. One of the local sergeants over here. He cannot give an opinion on a ShotSpotter. I love that. That's a true government official. That is a true government official. Doesn't matter what the laws or the politicians think. I'm gonna do my job. Good man. I do somewhat agree with Brandon Johnson on a couple things, but the whole ShotSpotters not existing in a lot of Chicago's most peaceful neighborhoods, there's a reason they don't exist in those peaceful neighborhoods, because these ShotSpotters got put in the neighborhoods in 2016 and 17 that were most prone to gun violence. And those are still the same neighborhoods that are most prone to gun violence today, almost 8 years later. These names should not sound unfamiliar. Grand Crossing, Woodlawn, South Shore, Englewood, Austin, North Lawndale, West and East Garfield Park, Humble Park. These are some of Chicago's most violent neighborhoods in 2016, and they still are to this day. So when the city, you know, did have to bite off a lot, because it is millions and millions and millions to keep up functioning every year, they didn't want to put them in neighborhoods that might not need them as much, because they're paying for them to each work individually, and more so, you know, on the grid that we talked about, that gunshots and shootings and mass shootings for that matter occur most often. Now when we're talking about ShotSpotter, I think there's a specific case that really stands out to me, especially as of lately, and that's the unfortunate murder of police officer Luis Huesca. He was shot and killed on the 5500 block of South Kedzie, so Garfield and Kedzie, at 2:53 in the morning. ShotSpotter technology instantly alerted CPD at 2:53 to those gunshots.
According to dispatch recordings, the ShotSpotter sensor alerted police to the shooting nearly 5 minutes before the first 911 caller. It played a role in the deaths of 2 CPD officers in the last year, but the city's doing away with the tech by the end of this year.
Now this is right on the border of Back of the Yards and Englewood, both, you know, really violent neighborhoods. And police didn't immediately respond. However, squad started rolling. At 2:58, 5 minutes later, they got their first 911 call from a citizen that heard the gunshots and was worried. 5 minutes, man, 5 minutes. Think of that. 5 minutes. You just got shot in the chest and you're bleeding out. Do you know how long 5 minutes is? That's, you know, with no ShotSpotter technology here, we're relying on 911 calls. You want to race?
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Are you sure? Oh, you're fast. So when an individual picks up the phone, calls 911, gets the original dispatch, the dispatch figures out what location they're talking about and if it's a reliable source, and then they transfer it to the district has to put it over the air, and by that time, 5 minutes has expired. Now I want you to think of your brother, your mother, your son, your daughter that just got shot, and their life is in the balance of if officers and first responders like, you know, CFD and CPD can get there in time. Those 5 minutes are precious, man. I don't know how else to explain it besides the technology is instant. It's instant, it works, it has worked, and it's pretty reliable, man. There is days of the year, like the 4th of July, that sometimes the technology is flawed because they hear things like fireworks or a Harley like this. Loud as a freaking AK, people jump. But it works. I really thought that news article and the reporting done on it was really well done, because it really did highlight the true difference between with ShotSpotter or just relying on 911 calls. And I believe the 911 caller was even a whole block off, like they said 56th and Kedzie, when in reality it happened on 55th Garfield Boulevard in Kedzie. Just something to consider. Now that Brandon Johnson is in office, the set end date for ShotSpotter is September 22nd.
Just days before the roughly $50 million ShotSpotter contract was set to expire, Mayor Brandon Johnson announced that the deal is over, making good on one of his campaign promises.
That's kind of convenient to think about too as a Chicagoan, because in the coming week, you know, this is about a month away. In the coming week, we are holding the Democratic National Convention here. I've never seen our streets cleaner, more police here, and they're really trying to get their all in order. So why wait to cancel the ShotSpotter till after DNC if it doesn't work? If it doesn't work, why didn't you cancel it right away? I'm not really sure, but I just thought the timing was kind of odd that, you know, they're waiting till after the DNC and after this summer, which is notoriously the most violent part of the year, to be over with, to get rid of it. Now, as we get into West Loop, if you're looking around, I don't know, I guess we haven't been talking that much down here, but if you're looking around, I can pretty much guarantee you that we're not going to see any ShotSpotters. And sure as we're not seeing any ShotSpotters when we're out on the west side or the south side, even as far down into the hundreds. We're seeing ShotSpotters every other block, and we're just not seeing them downtown. And speaking of the DNC, look at that. Chicago welcomes DNC 2024 Democratic National Convention, August 19th to the 22nd. This weekend. Crazy to think about. So, yeah, less than a month later, we are getting rid of the ShotSpotter technology. And that got me thinking about budget, because, you know, $10 million is a lot, and it might be a lot for your city as well. So I got to thinking, what else do we spend money on that maybe we could, I don't know, maybe we could throw other money at? How about Chicago's fireworks? If you're a resident of Chicago, you know we do fireworks, a professional fireworks show twice a week during the summer. Conservatively, a professional fireworks show costs almost six figures, so let's just call it around $100,000 per show.
And says they started planning in the fall and approved the budget for the show earlier this year. It's believed to be the largest fireworks show in the entire state.
We spent $110,000, so it's about, we blow off somewhere between 5,000 and 6,000 pounds of fireworks. They go 800 feet up in the air.
And let's do 20 weeks and multiply that by 2. That comes out to $4 million in just fireworks. So we're spending $4 million in fireworks, but you're telling me that the reason that we're going to get rid of ShotSpotter is the $10 million it costs to operate it a year. I'm sorry, but if that even helps save one life, which I know for a fact it did, and has, and will continue to do, because I do have a pretty strong inclination that it's going to continue, I don't think we should get rid of it. Little hand drag. Woo! Touched her a little bit. Now this has really got the aldermen up in arms, and they voted 34-14 to overturn Brandon Johnson's decision to get rid of the ShotSpotter technology. And as somebody that shares the same neighborhood as Brandon Johnson, I don't really understand his theory of wanting to get rid of it either, because the aldermen don't want to get rid of it, as a lot of them are dealing with the same gun violence that Brandon Johnson and us have dealt with for years as well.
I know we make campaign promises, right? But we better sometimes go what's right. And keeping ShotSpotter is the right thing to do.
The city will stop using ShotSpotter on September 22nd, after the Democratic National Convention.
When you put politics in front of public safety, we have to draw the line.
That was put there to protect us, and now you want to take it down?
And if money is really the motivation, man, I don't know. Something tells me a city that can find $4 million for fireworks a year can find another $10 million a year to keep funding a policy that, quite frankly, it does work. What are you guys getting ready for down here? I see all the blockades. Oh, the DNC. That makes sense. That's at the McCormick place, though, right? The DNC?
I don't know. McCormick place is the United Center.
Oh, and the United Center. Holy shit. All right, man. See ya. Yeah, getting ready for the DNC over here. Meep, meep. Wow, look at the view of the city. Beautiful. One of my favorite spots to come up here and just and look at it in an undisclosed parking garage, by the way. But you guys know me, I don't like to get political. I believe politicians are voted in place for a reason, and they're voted in place by people of their, you know, ward, city, state, country. So it is what it is. I'm just giving you guys both ends of the spectrum here. I'm telling you on why a few of the aldermen and Brandon Johnson want to get rid of the technology, and I'm also informing you of why most of the aldermen, and it seems like a decent amount of the city, do not want to get rid of ShotSpotter. I've seen the technology work. I've seen my buddies in police cars with the technology. It is extremely accurate, and personally, I do think it is a good tool for the city to continue to use and continue paying the $10 million a year. But once again, I do have to trust the politicians here, man. We are all ants in a bigger game, you know? You come out here, see the city, and see how little we truly are. We got here a couple boys rolling up hot in their Nissan Altimas. A couple Hot Boy Deluxes. I know this wasn't a long one. I know this wasn't even that crazy of a one. But I think this is a good one to really remind you guys, Chicago, put the guns down. Respect each other's lives. This technology exists because people don't respect each other's lives. But that is the reality of our city. If you guys are new here, make sure to subscribe. If you like the video, give it a like. And leave it down in the comments below on what you think of this video. I'm sorry if it wasn't the most happy video in the world, but I'm doing my best to make it happy. As always, this is your least favorite motovlogger, Brian626, signing out from the Dyna. I know I've missed doing videos on this thing. And I can't wait to start doing maybe another long road trip or two on it for y'all. I love you guys. I love my city. I'm out. I'll see you. Peace.